In the headlines, death toll from Zaria Mosque collapse rises to 10 as Governor Sani condoles victims' families. Troops rescue former Gusau College of Education provost's son in Zamfara State. Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors suspend nationwide strike. And away from Nigeria, Hawaii wildfire death toll hit 67 as probe launched into blaze response. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I'm Darshan Hussaina Usman. And now the news in detail. The death toll from the mosque collapse in Zaria in Kaduna State has risen to 10 with 7 injured. The incident occurred at 4 p.m. on Friday when Muslim worshippers were observing their evening prayers. The Emir of Zazzau, Nuhu Bamali, who confirmed the incident, said the worshippers were in the second sujood prayer when suddenly the affected portion of the mosque collapsed on those sitting directly at the section. The royal family further explained that the victims were covered by debris from the wall built with mud, which had been in existence for the past 150 years. He, however, directed the worshippers to pray outside the mosque, pending when repair works would be carried out. Meanwhile, the Kaduna State Governor Obasani has expressed sadness over the death of some victims of the incident. The governor, who spoke through his chief press secretary, Muhammad Shehu, at the funeral for the victims, commiserated with their families and the entire people of Zazzau Emirates, praying the repose of their souls and quick recovery of the injured. In the meantime, the victims have been buried according to Islamic rites. Family of a 17-year-old senior secondary student in Yola, Adamawa State, Abdullahi Tukur Abba, who was allegedly tortured to death by security personnel, are calling for justice. Salisu Lawang reports that the deceased was falsely accused of stealing a mobile phone belonging to a neighbor in the area. The report.
The final year secondary school student was said to have been arrested on the orders of one Shaibu Wambanzomo by men of Operation Farauta to an unknown destination. They later brought him back to his parents' house in handcuffs to search for the missing phone he was searched for. It was reported that the boy had lied of stealing the phone to spare his life. His aunt said while search for phone was progressing, Abdullah collapsed, started vomiting blood and was unconscious. He was rushed to the hospital and admitted at intensive care unit where he died 4 days later.
Yana da justice. Ina so ya bi min hakkina yarona. Ina so ya bi min hakkina akan yarona.
We need nothing but justice to our late son, Abdallah. He was never accused of any bad thing. Abdallah was very humble and always innocent. We need justice to our son.
Shi din da yana da alaka da kyau da mutane.
Abdallah, throughout his stay with us as our classmate, we never had anything bad about him, doubtless of stealing a phone. We really miss our friend and we hope justice for him.
Counsel for the family of the deceased, Abubakar Hammanduram, speaks on the case.
As a lawyer and the personalities involved in this matter, it will not be swept under the carpet. I'm certain about that. With the personality of the Commissioner of Police and the Attorney General of the state, with the governor, things will not be swept under the carpet. But however, if this could be done, then the Nigerian legal system is so sophisticated in such a way that there are a variety of ways of accessing justice. So we can adopt another means of achieving justice for Abdullah and his father and his parents.
Meanwhile, Adamawa State Police Command said it has ordered investigation into the matter and anyone found wanting will be made to face the full wrath of the law.
The command went extra mile to arrest its own officers who were in the mix of the Operation Farauta. Virtually, it will interest you to know 2 inspectors and 1 corporal were already apprehended and now they are in police custody. I would like to put it clear that our police, under the able leadership of CP Afolabi Babatola, we are not relenting on our effort in ensuring that justice is given to whosoever that deserves it. Irrespective of who you are, irrespective of what you are, all we know, justice is for all.
Residents of the area are calling on authorities to ensure that justice is served. The family said those responsible for his death must not be allowed to go unpunished. Silas Lawan, Trust TV News, Yola.
Now moving on to security, troops of Operation Hatlerin Daji have rescued 2 kidnapped victims less than 4 hours after their abduction at Mada community in Gusau local government area of Zamfara State. Those kidnapped were said to be the former provost of the Federal Technical College of Education, Gusau, and his son, who were whisked away on Friday, 11th August. Troops of the Sector 1 of Operation Hatlerin Daji deployed at Forward Operating Base Mada in the state while on routine patrol along Shamori Endoto Road at Marike local government area engaged the kidnappers in a gun battle for several hours, forcing the bandits to flee in disarray into the forest along the area and abandoning their victims. The troops safely rescued the 2 victims. 2 operational motorcycles were recovered from the fleeing armed bandits. Meanwhile, the kidnapped victims have been reunited with their families amidst jubilation, while the troops continue to maintain aggressive vigilance and patrol in the general area. Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu has received Rebecca Kabu, one of the 277 Chibok schoolgirls who were abducted by Boko Haram terrorists in 2014. The First Lady, who received Rebecca along with the wife of the Vice President, Nana Shatima, at the Presidential Villa Abuja, promised to ensure that Rebecca is well taken care of medically and fit to return to school willingly. Tinubu, while assuring that the remaining girls in captivity are not forgotten, appreciated the Office of the National Security Advisor, National Intelligence Agency, and other security agencies and those who were involved in Rebecca's rescue. Earlier, Rear Admiral Yaminu Musa, the coordinator of the Counter-Terrorism Center, Office of the NSA, said Rebecca, kidnapped at age 13 in 2014 and now 22 years old, was rescued by the government security agencies on July 17.
We just pray and continue to pray that all our children that are left, they can come back home. And we are also expecting them. We are waiting in earnest that they will return. And we pray that, all of them that, they might be watching, that we have not given up, for them returning. We can only wish her well, that when she goes home to her parents, that I know they will be so glad, no matter how.
Your Excellency, Rebecca has been found to be in good health and is psychologically stable. The next step is to hand over her to the Borno State Governor for onward reunification with her family, currently living in Uzalam village in Chibok, local government area of Borno State.
Now in health, the Nigeria Association of Resident Doctors have suspended its nationwide strike. President of the association, Orji Emeka Innocent, told newsmen that the decision was made during the virtual National Executive Council meeting of the association on Friday evening. He said members of the association would resume work this Saturday at 8 a.m. Innocent said the association decided to suspend the strike following the federal government's approval of the 2023 Medical Residency Training Fund and also commenced work on the circular on one-for-one replacement. He said that the association had another meeting on Friday evening where members concluded that rather than wait 2 weeks for the circular, they should suspend the strike and review progress, especially as government has started addressing some of their demands. He said the government has already initiated processes towards paying salary, hazard allowances, and consolidated medical salary structure, CONMES, the arrears being owed some of its members. NARD had embarked on an indefinite nationwide strike on July 26, following the federal government's failure to meet its demands. Lawyers and civil rights activists are expressing concern over delay in justice administration in Nigeria, which is having a negative impact on the application of the rule of law and efficient administration. A cross-section of legal practitioners, while speaking to Trust TV's Shafi'u Suleiman, are calling for reforms that will add value to the administration of justice in the country. The report.
There are currently 52,436 inmates awaiting trial in Nigeria. This is in addition to numerous pending civil-related litigations at various courts in the country. Cases take long time to be dispensed with, while some resort to self-help when frustrated by the long delays. Others languish in prisons without justification. Because of this, correctional facilities are overpopulated, with some housing triple times what they were designed to accommodate. Some Nigerians have lost confidence in the judicial system to deliver justice swiftly. What are the factors responsible for the delay in Nigeria's justice system?
Weak implementation of laws within the justice sector. For example, we have the Administration of Criminal Justice law, which many states have actually brought it to bear in their criminal justice system, for example. But you still find situations in which those laws are observed in the breach in terms of the timeline for cases to be tried and dispensed with.
How come you come to Supreme Court, you see cases, 22, 23 cases, and how did you want them to dispense that? At least minimum of, let's put it, even if you are going to make it as short as 30 minutes, 30, 22, that's almost 11 hours. And for them to sit down at that age.
Let's take it from the basis. How many times do you have electricity in your house? Assuming you're a judge or you're a lawyer, without having electricity, it will impact on your output.
There were concerns also on the structure, capacity and the ability of the nation's justice system to guarantee expeditious delivery of justice due to human factor, which slows down the dispensation of justice.
It has to do with the people, because the people that run the system. Anywhere the system is not working, I think one needs to first focus and interrogate what makes the people.
Somebody comes to your office, you have to look at the issue. If it is an issue that you can solve through mediation or arbitration, you can solve it instead of going to court. It doesn't stop you from earning your fees.
Another very worrisome case is the case of awaiting trial inmates, people who are detained in the prison system. They are not given justice on time and they remain in the prison system, overburdening the system, incurring costs for the country, because those people who are awaiting trial inmates, they feed from the same budgets that you allocate for the prisons.
Legal practitioners say to change the narrative, there is need to overhaul especially the criminal justice sector, embrace alternative dispute resolution mechanisms, provide the needed infrastructure, and limit the number of litigations that require adjudication of the superior courts in order to speed up the process. Shafi'u Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
You're watching Trust News Update, coming up after the break. We take a look at plight of university students over rising cost of fees. Do stay. Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. You're still watching Trust News Update. A recap of our top stories. We told you that the death toll from Zaria mosque collapse rises to 10 as Governor Sani condoles victims' families. We also told you that troops rescue former Gusau College of Education provost's son in Zamfara State. Moving to more stories, some residents of Lagos State have called for accountability from members of the recently inaugurated Presidential Committee on Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms. While reacting to the committee's inauguration by President Bola Tinubu, they maintained that taxpayers will be satisfied with the committee's job if they approach their jobs with equity. The report.
For some Nigerians in Lagos, the move to inaugurate the committee is a welcome development as no country can survive without taxation. However, they are more interested in the utilization of monies recovered from taxpayers, hence they urged the government through the committee to be accountable.
Tax is very important in Nigerian society. One, it makes the government work well to do infrastructures, which is good. But government has been increasing the tax without any looking at the loopholes, the overtaxation, double taxation. Nothing has been done about it till now. So if forming this committee is a good one that will look into this taxation and also block all the loopholes that taxes are meant to be, so that there will be more money for infrastructure.
The Nigerians are looking for a situation whereby you utilize the money being given to you, utilize the money being paid by taxpayers. It is not all about just inaugurating committee on tax refund, but what have they used the money for over the years? What has Nigerian government used the money for over the years? And how can they talk about the accountability of the money that has been paid over the years? That's the thing. These are the things we need to look into.
They are also of the opinion that the inauguration is good as it will block loopholes, stop over-taxation and pave way for more investors to come in and invest in the country.
The inauguration of the committee is in the right direction because Nigeria should start looking towards looking away from borrowing to funding our budgets. That's number one. Number two is that Nigeria still has most very unbanked nationals. We have many people that are unbanked that don't use the bank, and with that it's difficult to really trace taxation. Number three is that we have multiple taxation. I'm an employer and I'm an employer, and I understand how at the local government I have to still pay taxes. At the state government I still have to pay taxes. Then because my child wants to do one or two things, I still have to pay my personal income tax. So some of the responsibility of this committee is to look into multiple taxation, which I buy into also.
As for me, let's see how it goes. I pray it works out. Because, we have been paying tax for long in the country. We have been paying tax since 1960 to date. So I pray it works out for good. We can't predict the future. Only God can predict.
For many, transparency and accountability in Nigeria's tax system, which many do not trust, will encourage others to pay their taxes and contribute to the nation's development.
Students of the Federal University Gusau are displeased with the 100% increase in tuition fees, saying that the development will push many students out of school. The students told Trust TV that they're now to pay between 87,000 and 100,000 per session, depending on the faculty and chosen profession. The report.
School fee hike by federal universities, polytechnics and colleges of education has continued to generate concerns among students and parents. The increase is coming at a time when removal of fuel subsidy is causing untold hardship on many. Abubakar Babangida is a 400-level student of political science and president, Faculty of Management and Social Science, Federal University Gusau, said he paid 36,500 naira last academic session, but will now pay 85,000 naira for the new session.
That 6,500 that we are paying, some students are struggling to get it, but due to the situation of this country nowadays, this has been now increase.
A 200-level student, Abdul Qadir Musa, said he is worried that he will pay 102,000 naira as tuition fees according to the new academic session.
I'm using this opportunity to call on the federal government, maybe if possible, to look at this matter, maybe to decrease the amount of this money, if possible.
The students added that the increase is capable of aggravating the prevailing security challenges and other forms of crime, urging the federal government to take steps to address hardship that the new tuition fee will inflict on students and parents.
Now onto the foreign scene. The death toll from wildfires on Hawaii's Maui has risen to 67 as search teams combed through the smoldering ruins of Lahaina town, and officials sought to determine how the inferno spread so rapidly through the historic resort area with little warning. Hawaii's Attorney General said on Friday that she was opening a probe into how authorities responded to devastating wildfires that had left at least 67 people dead. The fires have become the deadliest natural disaster in Hawaii's history, surpassing that of a tsunami that killed 61 people on the Big Island of Hawaii in 1960, a year after Hawaii joined the United States. Fueled by dry conditions, hot temperatures, and strong winds from the passing hurricane, at least 3 wildfires erupted on Maui last week, racing through a parched brush covering the area. Maui County officials say in an online statement that firefighters continue to battle the blaze, which was not yet fully contained. And finally, in sports, a 35-year-old Bielsa-born football juggler, Tonye Solomon, popularly known as the Ball Boy, would soon be registering his name in the Guinness Book of World Records after climbing a telecom mast with a football on his head. The Ball Boy climbed over 149 steps of the mast, surpassing the existing record of 70 steps with 79 steps. The report.
Tonye Solomon achieved the feat at a 250 feet marks located at the hospital junction in Yenagoa. Speaking to Trust TV shortly after beating the exciting record, a representative of the Guinness Book of World Records, Chukwuebuka Nzuga, said the Ball Boy did excellently, adding that after submission of the evidence to the Guinness Book of World Records for approval, a certificate will be issued to him.
I was so surprised seeing him climb with the ball on top of the mast. He got 149 steps in 13 minutes and 37 seconds. You know, he had to beat the existing record of 70 steps climbed. So you can see from the video, many people were surprised. How can someone of this carry a football up on top of the mast? He did so well today.
The elevated Bielsa-born ball juggler thanked God for making his dream come true.
Right now, praying to God for this day to come. So I've been doing this since 2013 to this time. I've been talented, don't know God, end up like that.
He, however, advised other talented youths to look unto God where their help comes from.
And with that, we've come to the end of Trust News Update. Don't forget to follow us across all our social media platforms. I'm Darshan Hussaina Usman. Thanks for watching.